Hello, and welcome to the Blind Tag Wrestling Podcast. This is your AEW Dynamite Road Rager review for July 7th, 2021, and we're live, pal. It feels good. Let me tell you, my name is John Hawkins, as always, and she has no miedo, and she also gives zero mierdas. She's the uncrowned queen of the ring. She's one stiff shooter. And sorry, Miss Jade, there's only one Laputa. The lovely and mysterious Rasha.
Hello.
Yeah, you like that?
I did. Clever use of the Spanish there.
I put a lot of effort in that. And listen, for as much as I love the Mexicans out there, and as much as I love the Spanish out there, and as much as I love everybody out there who speaks the Spanish language in one form or another.
Right.
Let me give my deepest condolences and apologies for my butchering of your language. I am trying.
We try our best here.
Really trying. I'm going to speak it fluently within 5 years.
There you go.
Regardless, because I have to. It's the only way I can get to Arena Mexico. But listen, this is very important because I got to get right into this because I just got to call something out. Mr. Alistair Thomas Malachi Black End, you naughty boy. You naughty light turning off boy, you.
Oh, shame.
No, listen, this Dynamite has everything.
Absolutely everything.
All the things. We got so much to cover. We got so much to get into. I mean, just so much. So much to cover.
What an episode to come back on.
It really was, man. It's such a big episode.
Jeez.
So many things went on. So many things. Hopefully you got to see it. If you didn't get to see it, you know what? Turn this off.
Yeah, go watch it.
Go watch this right now because it was fantastical.
You're missing out.
It really was. It was a great episode. Just having the live fans. And obviously, we had the live fans, last few weeks.
Yes.
But it was all back in Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's different being somewhere else.
There was a sexy ass man front row last week.
Yeah, I think I saw him.
You got to see him throwing evil eye darts at some people. But, we'll cover that later. That'll be later. We're not going to mess around this time.
No.
All right? We're not going to mess around because this Dynamite, Road Rager, if you will, was fantastic. And I just want to say a little theme of the show. All the fakes are snakes. All the fakes are snakes.
There you go.
Listen, we started off this Dynamite, again, live from Miami.
Yes.
And the cool thing about it is I was really worried about it because there's a hurricane that's been coming through. It's been on again, off again.
Yes.
I was really concerned. I just left Florida, and I was really concerned this was going to be a big hurricane in Miami. But it's okay because
we made it through.
We made it through, and we started off in a big way. You could tell it was a big emotional boom.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you could really tell that everybody was bringing their A game.
Yes.
And we started off with a South Beach strap match, easy for me to say.
It's kind of a tongue twister.
It really is. But it was a strap match with my man, Cody Rhodes, the American Dream. I don't care. I'm going to call him that. With Double A himself, Arn Anderson. And he went against QT Marshall. And, he had Aaron Sono. and
We're not Aaron Solo fans.
And Captain Caveman out there, too. Nick Camarato. So, listen, man. This was a quality match. It was a very, very good strap match. And it was a good way to kick off the show. Always our kickoff shows. Our kickoff matches are fantastic.
Always a hot opener.
Yeah, this is not your traditional opener because it is a gimmick match. So I was kind of, I don't know. I was like, well, this is great because you're starting off with
the man himself.
Yeah, you're going to start off with a little color. It's already establishing.
Right. Yeah.
And that's not even to mention who they're already showing in the crowd, which is not only my favorite male fighter in the world, but my favorite female fighter in the world.
Man, we were excited when we saw them out there.
And she had to earn the spot because I'm actually a Valentina fan.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, how could you not respect Amanda Nunes?
It's impossible.
She is just a bad
She's perfect.
bitch. She is a bad bitch. You notice we didn't see Jade Cargill tonight? You know why? Only room for one bitch in that
Oh my
fucking place.
goodness.
And man, you have that, and you have my boy Jorge.
Yes.
Jorge Masvidal is my spirit animal. he is me through and through.
Yes.
Because I
would
love
agree with
I
that.
love the man's old school mentality.
Yeah.
And so a lot more to come about that in a little bit. But on to the match. Listen, if you don't know about strap matches, they're as old school as it gets. You got to drag your opponent's limp body and touch all 4 turnbuckles.
Yes.
And
consecutively without interruption.
Yeah. If it gets stopped, they stop your momentum, you have to start over.
Yes.
With Uno.
Mm-hmm.
So it was
not evil Uno, but
no, not evil Uno, not yet. But Marshall did some stalling. Cody attacked with a tope suicida.
Oh yeah, hard one.
Yeah, it was. They strapped it up. The bell rang. Cody immediately hit the drop down right hand. The Rhodes family drop down right hand. He choked Marshall. I'm saying Marshall. Just I hate myself for it.
Yes, but that's what he's going by.
That's what he's going by.
We respect that.
Yes. He calls Cody onto the ramp. Can I say that? My God, am I excited?
He tossed Toady on the ramp.
He tossed he costed Toady. And I hate the Toadies. They only had one good song. But yeah, anyway, Cody whipped Marshall repeatedly with the strap. He exchanged words of Aaron. By the way, there's no DQ, so they were just in and out as they please. But as soon as Solo did something, Big Brother came out.
Yeah, he's like, no.
So Dustin came out, and he sent Solo in the front row up in the stands. I don't know. They're still fighting somewhere in South Beach. But
they're still going at it.
Marshall used the strap to hit Cody low. I mean, you could see it. Cody had his leg split. You knew there was a ball shot coming.
Low blows coming.
And then he whipped and choked him with it. Both men touched the turnbuckles consecutively. It was the old southern spot.
So smart.
So the one dude's touching it quietly behind the other dude that's pulling it. Then a scramble ended up with a German suplex. It was actually kind of fugly, but in a good way, not like a you fucked up kind of way. You go in there and try it with a strap around you.
Yeah.
Marshall went to keep up the beat down on the floor. Cody pulled him into the ring post, and boom, we got a little bit of blizzard. And Cody touched 3 turnbuckles, and then the lights went out. And it's one of those times that if you're following Twitter at the time, you get people like, they
lost power for 2 seconds.
There's something called foreshadowing. And for all those
it stopped his momentum.
For all those people that, foreskins out there that want to say something, it was just some foreshadowing. It was not anything. But the lights went out mysteriously, and Cody sold it, which I don't think he would have done if it was just simply that the lights went out.
Yeah.
But anyway, Marshall used the distraction, beat Cody down, and stopped the count. They fought on top rope where Cody choked Marshall out. He went for the top rope Frankensteiner, which Marshall countered into a powerbomb. Cody stopped Marshall from touching all 4 corners, and then Marshall hit the diamond cutter. Marshall touched 3, but Cody forced an interruption and was met with a whipping for his effort. Cody fired up and demanded that Marshall hit him before making his comeback and running wild with strikes. He hit the Cody cutter in the center of the ring. Arn called for an end. Cody hit 3, and then it happened. Then it happened. He spit in Cody's face.
Oh, that was a mistake.
He spit in Cody's face, and all this came back because you know what? He had spit in Cody's face, but this time it wasn't figuratively.
No.
It was literally nasty QT spittle in a face of a god.
No.
And then what happened? Well, Cody hit some crossroads.
Just a few.
Cody hit 3 crossroads. On the third one, you really knew he was dead. And then he touched him. The crowd counted with him because we have a crowd now.
Oh, so nice. Such a nice moment.
It was fantastic.
I loved it.
Good, great opener.
1, 2, 3, 4. Cody wins.
Really good match. And then we cut right to a promo.
Oh, Jesus.
It wasn't Jesus, but we cut to a promo with Shawn Spears.
Oh.
And listen, if you watch Dark, and we'll give you a little bonus content at the end of the show with a little bit of Dark talk because I love Dark.
Man, Dark is so good.
I really love that show. And on that show, Shawn Spears, Jesus Christ, Shawn Spears beat the piss. Well, yeah, listen, just watch Shawn Spears on Dark. If you ever get a chance, Whenever Sean Spears gets a chance to beat the piss out of somebody,
he's crazy.
He does it. Listen, I believe Sean Spears. I love this character for him. It's so much better than whatever he was doing before. Because I don't even remember what he was doing before.
No.
That's how good this is.
That fortuitous chair shot to the skull of Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
Just turned him into a badass.
Well, I love like last week when he hit the chair. And then it looks like he gets off.
Orgasmic.
I like to think he has a problem.
He does.
And he's at home, and he's just kind of like,
Unfortunately, it doesn't work the same in reverse, it seems.
Yeah.
He's not as happy about getting hit by the chair.
Oh, I was going to say that he doesn't get off, and then chairs come flying out or something. Like, what the hell? I didn't know where you were going on that one.
No.
So anyway, he started talking about Sammy Guevara, and who is, hotter than freaking, jeez, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
He's hot as snot right now.
He's a Spanish god.
But he was saying it's Guevara's ego that got him in trouble last week, and then he was interrupted by a flying chair. And the chair said, "This is far from over."
I think that was Sammy.
Oh, it was Sammy that said it, but the chair was thinking it.
The chair's tired of being used.
You know what he didn't say, Raja?
What?
He didn't say your famous, most loved phrase that all wrestlers say.
What's that? You asked for this?
You asked for this. There's a few little Raja tropes.
You wanted this.
There's a few little Raja tropes that she picks up in wrestling.
I'm sorry.
And now I'm cursed to hear it every time I watch a show. If there's a battle royal, somebody's going to hide until the end because it's Raja's rule.
Oh, they've been better about that lately.
If there's a wrestling show, you're going to hear, "You asked for this. You wanted this." And now that's all I hear. Now you're going to hear it too. You find me a show where somebody doesn't come out and attack somebody and say, "You asked for this."
Very victim shamey.
It really is. It really is.
In some cases, they actually do ask for it. They're like, "Let's have a match."
You shouldn't have worn the dress. That's what they just need to start saying. "I don't have a dress on. It's a long story."
You shouldn't have worn that gear.
So
I thought you were a wrestler.
Then this early in the night.
Man.
Now, anybody who watches BTE.
Nonstop.
Anybody who watches BTE, well, you've been treated. You've been treated this whole time to really doing this angle. This story, the best story in pro wrestling.
Yes, I would agree with that.
You have your Roman Reigns stuff out there, but sometimes that goes off the road like a drunk driver. And it's hard to keep up with the story. But this story that has a supposed drunk in it who don't actually drink. And funny how that works, huh? It's supposed to be an angle, baby. Keep it between the lines, bud. Just concentrate on that yellow. But anyway, but I digress, Taz. So this story has been going since the start of AEW, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And we've went on a roller coaster. We went ups and downs, and the beauty, just is so beautiful. Because this story's really not been done like this. I've seen the story somewhat done before, where the one guy don't want to face it. But listen, I'm pretty sure that it's going to come out that Hangman, the only matches he's lost, he threw. Like, listen, it's because he didn't want to face Kenny.
Get that ranking down.
It's not a fear. I think that's the big thing. It's not a fear of Kenny, per se. Mm-hmm. It's this is my brother who I love.
Right.
We were the elite. We're the real elite, all of us. And I'm completely torn like a little kid.
Yeah. And
it's like when you see somebody who had a really hard upbringing, and we all know that person, and some things just fester it. Some things just rear its ugly head.
Yeah, he doesn't want to face his feelings.
Yeah, it's
because Kenny was his best friend.
Yeah, exactly.
And now they're completely separated and on different sides, and it hurts.
So what he's been doing is putting his problems in a bottle.
Yes.
And
hanging out with the Dark Order.
Yeah, and they hung out with him. I think they found him.
Yes, like a lost puppy.
And he's loved it because he's been able to forget himself around his goofy friends.
Yeah, and have some fun.
I've been that guy.
Yeah.
I've been that guy.
And just leave that to fester in the back of your mind.
It was called the Scotty order. And you know who you are, all of you. But, I've been that guy. So it only lasts for so long.
Yes, until your old people just come on back up.
Yeah, man. So this story's beautiful. And, but you still don't think you're going to see it.
No.
Because it's been teased so much.
You're like,
And last week, if you're playing at home, the Dark Order came out and confronted Mr. Harley Race looking best freaking beard from the 70s ever, Kenny Omega, who actually looks like a champion.
Yes.
Really looks
Man, he looks good.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah.
He looks like a damn man now. But anyway, he comes out, Kenny Omega, and he's having an in the ring promo with Don Callis and Tony Schiavone.
Poor Tony. He couldn't get a word in edgewise.
He never does. Don Callis took the mic, and it's kind of funny because the Miami crowd starts chanting, "You got fired." And it was almost like they thought they had something on him. But that's totally, it's totally storyline. I mean, it happened, but not because he was a bad boy or something.
Right. I believe he said, real men don't quit, they get fired.
Yes, yes. So it's still cool, though, because the crowd's obviously smart.
Yes.
AEW crowd.
Yes.
And the thing that's really cool is the chants were just happening with "We Want Hangman."
Yes.
So, I mean,
it
was happening very loud. And all of a sudden, Dark Order's music played.
Oh, gosh.
So the leader of the Dark Order, Evil Uno, who was right there for us the whole time, this guy is got to be a player coach. And
he's fantastic.
He's the mouthpiece. He needs to be the manager because he's a great manager.
He is.
He's fantastic. He's got great mic skills. He's funny.
Mm-hmm.
But he also can go in there and he can work.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too. Just let him talk for the Dark Order.
I think this whole thing of them saying we don't need a leader or whatever. I think we've got one.
Yeah.
And it works.
The OG.
Absolutely. And I think it works. But he comes out and he cuts a hell of a promo.
Yes.
And he's telling him, he comes out and he's just like, the crowd's chanting cowboy shit at the time, by the way.
It's back.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd miss the cowboy shit chant.
and Evil Uno is just like, he has a few questions for Omega. He wants to know why they're ignoring the crowd. And, the cowboy shit chants are just going crazy. Omega asks Uno what the capital Thailand is. Because this is, it's another beautiful part of...
Dad joke Kenny Omega.
Oh, my God. And for anyone who don't get it, and there'll be people that don't get it.
Yeah.
They'll think that he's like trying to do that, being clever or something. Like, no.
No.
This is a joke. This is like the character.
That's the point.
This is the character because he's always been kind of awkward.
Yeah.
And this is him, being a bad guy.
He's supposed to be the funny heel.
He's a spaz, man.
Like the funny villain in a kids movie.
That doesn't know he's being funny.
Yeah. He thinks he's the coolest person in the world.
The funny thing is, he actually said Bangkok. Which I think the joke works without even giving the punchline.
But that just makes it better.
Doing a little Monty Python, no punchline on it.
And man, when he attacked Evil Uno, Stu Grayson was on him like a fly on shit.
Yes.
He was like, no, not my partner.
Which makes me want to see that because I'd like to see Stu versus the World. So
I was thinking about that too. That'd be a good match.
It really would be a good match. But anyway, this was happening. Still yet, I'm not expecting what happened.
Me either.
But Hangman's music hits. Hangman's music hits, and I came unglued. And we all came unglued.
It's because Kenny was about to hit Uno with the belt, and Hangman, I guess he had enough. He was like, those are my friends.
We all came unglued. I hope that you came unglued. I hope that everybody came unglued. I know the arena came unglued. I think Elmer's factory just fell. Yeah. I mean, horses are rejoicing all over the world right now because there's no more glue. But it finally happened, folks. It finally happened.
Oh, jeez.
He comes out, and it was just so fast. It was so beautiful. Omega's alone in the ring. Paige is in the perfect position for the buckshot. He didn't hit it. They face off in the center of the ring, and then there's a Carl Anderson real quick distraction coming up, and that allowed Omega to escape.
That face-off was intense. Just the look on Adam's face.
Mm-hmm.
Poor thing. I feel so bad for him.
But that
because he knows he's gonna have to hit him with that eventually.
But the look was also the look of someone who knows it's time.
Yes, Kenny's too far gone, and he has to face his demons.
And they alluded to that match happening in Charlotte.
Yes, they did. At the beginning of the interview, Don Callis mentioned Fight for the Fallen, which would be insane.
Yeah, it seems like...
If it happens that soon, I mean, I know it's been a long story, but I would have thought they'd save it for, like, a big show, like All Out.
Well, maybe you have the first match, and that match maybe has a schmoz.
Ooh.
And then you go to the gimmick match or something. You never know. I mean, you can't do one match with them. That needs to be a program.
I guess, yeah. I kind of just want to get to the one big, crazy, amazing match. But more than one match, I will not complain about.
Honestly, what I'd like to see is get to the match and Hangman win it in 5 seconds. like have him come in there and win the damn match.
That's heartbreaking in its own right, because we don't get to see the match.
But we would get to see the match.
I know.
It's. I mean, that I don't know. I like it. Do I think he'll win it? No, not off the bat.
Not at first, no.
I don't. I mean, it is Kenny Omega we're talking about.
Yes.
But then we get the Darby Allin and Ethan Page interview with Jim Ross. Very interesting, don't you think?
Yes, it was incredibly interesting.
It's a damn good interview.
I was as uncomfortable as JR was in that room.
Yeah.
Those two do not like each other.
I love the story. I really do love the story. It was... They were talking about, JR was like, I don't understand. It was almost like listening to his podcast.
Yeah.
Why do you boys want to end each other's careers?
He's like, what's the beef?
It don't make no damn sense. What's going on? Hitting him in the back of the head of a paper. And, but Ethan said, I don't see anything wrong with it. And Alan said that Paige is angry about, how much Alan had accomplished in such a short time. He said, look, you've been at the time I came in, you'd been in the business 12 years. Mm-hmm. In a year, I was where you were in 12 years. Mm-hmm. And just to paraphrase it, he talked about, he goes, it's not my fault that you stayed in one town and you married a girl in that town. You had your kids in that town. Mm-hmm. You didn't go out and get it, man.
Yeah.
That's basically it. And Darby Allin went everywhere, wrestled anybody. And it's kind of, I've seen that happen, right? The funny thing is, I'm sitting there going, be happy for him, because look, I've had this happen to me a million times. Mm-hmm. I'm the guy who chose to do the other stuff,
right?
Stay in the same town for 20 years, and you watch kids come up, and they go everywhere in a year.
Yeah,
I could think of one right off the top of my head.
Yeah,
that I was just sitting beside last week, but. In a year, they go and they're on AEW. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it works sometimes. It's called working your ass off. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot, for anybody who's ever been in the business or any kind of business, you've seen this happen. And it's not a union, folks. So they don't go on seniority. They go on who's hot and what's going on. But, Paige said in his part, he plucked Alan out of obscurity, which, there's probably a lot of truth in that. Ethan helped a shitload of people.
Yeah.
And throughout his career.
Mm-hmm. And which is something to be proud of.
With his connections. Right. And the whole thing was there's so much realism into it that you can really get into it.
Yeah.
They talked about next week being the first coffin match. Yes, it's the first coffin match. But he's going to take Alan out. And JR closed it with saying he doesn't have a good feeling about the situation. So...
It's going to be ugly.
It is. It's very cool. I'm excited. Hopefully they didn't make the coffin in somebody's backyard like I did my coffin match. Ugly.
I'm sure they bought a real coffin.
If you ever want to see the ugliest coffin ever made, you can still find this somewhere.
Oh, geez.
There's a Robbie Cassidy versus a Steve Fury match from NWA Smoky Mountain Wrestling. You need to look that up.
That was good times.
Has a coffin that was handmade in my backyard. And son, it does not look like a coffin at all. But
you get splinters off that thing.
But it worked. So next, we went to the Pinnacle. Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler, and Wardlow with Mr. Blanchard against the Inner Circle of Santana, Ortiz, and Jake Hager looking like a mother. I mean,
he was like the highlight of this match.
Yeah, Jake's looking good. Santana, obviously, they talked about him hitting the gym. I almost said the juice. About him hitting the gym. And, Jake has come so far. It's
he really has.
I mean, seriously, the guy is...
He's a beast.
He's a beast. Exciting.
As much as he is in MMA.
But they also had the legend of Conan there with him too, which I love seeing Conan doing this and being part of this. It's pretty awesome, man. But Santana and Harwood teed off of each other from the opening bell. Santana went for the Three Amigos, and he does a German suplex on the third. Ortiz tagged in. They hit the double team, and then the Northern Lights suplex followed for 2. Wheeler caught on Ortiz leapfrog, hit a power slam before tagging in Wardlow, who hit a gut-wrench powerbomb for 2. Harwood tagged in. Ortiz caught him with a power bomb and tagged in Hager.
Woo.
Hager then hit the Hager bomb, which was amazing. Sent the Pinnacle packing it to the break. And once they came back from the break, there was a cutter. Allowed Santana to reach Ortiz for the hot tag. The Inner Circle worked together to take out Wheeler, but Wardlow ran in to break up the pin. FTR double team sequence on Ortiz got a 2 count. Ortiz countered a vertical suplex with one of his own and tagged in Hager, who then did the Hager up and freaking went nuts on everybody. Wheeler countered the Hager bomb, so Hager locked on an ankle lock. Harwood broke it up, but ran into a big old boot.
And then Hager was like, I want him.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is where business picked up.
Yes.
Hager called for Wardlow. And my God. JR got wood. And he's like, he's sitting there thinking, Mid-South, 1984 right here, folks. This is going to be in downtown New Orleans. Because this is what it reminded me of anyway. It was just, man, this was just a slobber knocker. But it was some good stuff, man. And FTR entered the ring on a distraction after got the suplex, went for the ankle lock. And the distraction was totally hitting the big rig for out of nowhere win, because they are the Pinnacle.
Yes, and they can't help themselves.
And then after Conan comes in, unadvised.
Yes.
Attacks Wardlow with his little, cock and a sock. And he totally chop blocked him. Really nice chop block from behind.
Yeah, they look nasty.
So
everything looks nasty.
That's how we ended that stuff. But then, for unexpected,
they just dropped a bomb out of nowhere.
You dropped a bomb on me. You dropped a bomb on me.
Like, it was out of nowhere.
So, listen.
Randy Orton style.
Listen. That's all I got to say about
that
this.
That was us.
Yes. Because anybody who knows, well, you know. And if you don't know, you need to find out.
Yes.
Carl Anderson, the machine gun himself, was fucking fantastic in New Japan. Just fantastic. And ever since they left the E, we've been wanting them back in New Japan. Mm-hmm. Been really excited about it.
Yeah.
So I don't give 2 shakes of a dog's dick about anything they've been doing. I just don't. I don't get behind it. I don't care.
Right.
It's just not the same, because I think most of that is because I want Machine Gun Carl Anderson in New Japan. Because it's just right there.
Yeah.
It's there, ball. It's your home, ball. Go home. It's your home. And it's just really been bothering me. But Carl Anderson cuts a promo. He said Jon Moxley had been a big problem for the Good Bros, and he challenged Moxley to an IWGP United States Championship match. And it's not in 2 years or 20 years. It's next week, folks.
Jeez.
Fighter Fest.
Just lay it all on the line like that.
Fighter Fest Nizat Whiz on. You're going to have Jon Moxley. And hopefully Shooter Umino.
If he shows up with Mox, I might die.
Against Machine Gun Carl Anderson.
You think he's going to win it? Take it back to Japan? Maybe not immediately, but maybe, especially now. We got some breaking news coming out of Japan where there's they're doing some lockdowns, and it's not looking good for any of our shows. Yeah, I know. So he'd have to take it back to Strong for a while. Hopefully it doesn't affect the United States shows. Yeah. But definitely going to affect the Japan shows. But it could, and it really sucks, eggs. Yes, I was really looking forward to this entire July
Yeah.
in New Japan.
Yeah, we've been very excited about
We'll
it.
have more news on that on our proper show, hopefully.
Raj has been going down some holes and getting ready
love New
and
Japan.
reading stuff, and we all do. But then, something else to love. Jesus Lord.
This was so great. This was so great.
So then, if you on paper, if I say Chris Jericho and MJF are going to have a face-to-face contract signing, you're not going to be that excited.
Yeah, okay.
You know, it's like
probably good promo.
Yeah, we've seen that before. It's going to be a promo though. No. No. You have no idea. You know why you have no idea? Because and anytime that's going to happen. Anything's going to happen.
Yes.
And it was live, pal. Because before we could even get started in this, during the entrance where everybody's singing Judas, and when I say everybody, mostly everybody except those people that don't know the words, who are trying to look like they know the words, and they'll be like, hi, and then they look right at the camera and go, yeah, you know, because they don't. I love it. And I think the camera guys are dicks.
They're actually looking for those people.
They're looking for the people that don't know. And
or they're not singing.
Yeah, because they catch a few of them. But the majority of the crowd sings it, and it's always awesome. But the guys seem to look froggy tonight, but not as froggy as some fat bastard that tried to get in the ring. And I can't wait till somebody shows me some video of this, because MJF, what part of MJF whipping the shit out of somebody in the crowd would you not remember to think it was okay to go after MJF or Chris Jericho?
They both have a history with this.
Who Chris Jericho, you know, Mr. beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar. I mean, you don't do this stuff. And I mean, Wardlow wasn't out there, or it could have even been uglier. I don't know, but MJF.
I think it would have been the ugliest if freaking Cash Wheeler was.
I think MJF took this fat dude to Pound Town.
That sounds wrong.
And Jericho. It was funny because damn kayfabe to hell. Jericho was going to come over and whoop the shit out of him too, but
yeah. He got one in.
The video I saw has this poor sumbitch crawling, not being able to stand because he's unconscious.
Yes.
So I hope they just took him in the back and just cornholed him. But it's like, welcome to Ring of Honor. No, you know.
I'm sure he got his just desserts.
Oh, I'm sure he's spending a night with Miami's finest. I'm pretty confident. But this was awesome regardless. It was... MJF dared anyone else in the crowd to come and try that. And he said Jericho's been out here, you know, groveling for one more match. And it's sad, but it's understandable because everyone wants a piece of the king of AEW. Jericho said he should have let the fat bastard come in the ring and beat MJF's ass. And Jericho said he'd accept any stipulation MJF put in front of him, including having sex with your mother. And then he sits there and stares, and
I love that.
And it's so great because he's like, including having sex with your mom.
And MJF's sitting there like,
and it just sits there,
beat the shit out of
and
you.
just sits there, and just sits there.
He's like, don't you do it?
Sits there and he goes, again.
And he gets up. Ah.
And dude, listen, that was just so beautiful. So Jericho.
Oh, it was fantastic.
MJF gets mad, but he says, hey, you know what? You're not going to rattle me because that's what the people would want. And screw the people, basically. And he just doesn't care, you know, what they want. He used to look up to Jericho, following every step of his career, including the Jon Moxley feud. Jericho made Moxley wrestle, you know, every person in the inner circle. And MJF's going to take that blueprint and make it better. MJF loved Greek mythology, talks about growing up, and I was happy when I heard that because I love Greek mythology. And his favorite story was Labors of Hercules. Jericho's going to have 5 labors. The first 4 will be opponents of MJF's choosing with unique stipulations. And Jericho will have to win them all back to back to back to back. The 5th is MJF. And when he beats Jericho a 3rd time, maybe he'll learn MJF's better than him, and he knows it. Jericho accepted it because he don't give a damn. And he said because he's the god of battle. He's the god of thunder, and he's the god of war in AEW. And he yelled at the crowd right then because he's like, you know it. I mean, he was fired up, man.
Yes.
And he said he's going to beat MJF and ruin his life. And that ain't no mythology. And then he signed it. MJF stopped Jericho from leaving, saying a deal's not a done deal until we both shake hands, because that's how we do it with us Yankees. He demanded Jericho to shake his hand or the deal's off. Jericho shook his hand, but he wouldn't let go. And he pulled him in and gave him the Judas effect.
One thing I thought was interesting was when he heard the stipulations or whatever, he was like, if I can't do that, maybe I don't even belong in AEW. And MJF was like, which makes me think one of the stipulations is going to be you have to lose or leave. You have to leave AEW if you lose.
Yeah, like for every match maybe.
Yeah. That would be funny if he made it for every match.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. I don't know if the fans actually picked up what was going on, what was being said that much, because the announcers didn't put it over that much.
No.
It was just because there's so much other stuff happening, and they're still reeling from the fan.
Yeah, it's going to be a gauntlet.
So, yeah, it's going to be cool as hell.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, so then we go to Britt Baker, and Jesus Lord.
Someone needs to calm her down a little bit.
Somebody needs to calm AEW down a little bit.
This was nonstop.
It really was. It was amazing. Britt Baker was with Rebel, Reba.
Poor Rebel.
And she said the only positive that came out of last week's match was it was another win for Baker. But an innocent person was hurt. Talking about Reba, Rebel. She talked about ratings. And the match only happened so Vicky Guerrero could bring in AEW's Andrade. So Baker told Tony Khan to enjoy his blood money, saying maybe next week AEW could run a show in Saudi Arabia. She actually said this, folks.
Out loud.
And it was one of those, oh my God moments for us.
Yeah, we were like, what did she just say?
She said Nyla Rose. I mean, think about who her man is.
Yeah.
You think he's going to get some heat for that statement?
Maybe a little.
Nyla Rose never getting her title back. Baker's not just sending Rose to the back of the line. She's sending her to obscurity. And they talk about Dallas being the big D. And she looks down. She goes, I don't know about that. But she goes, after next time in there, it's going to be the big DMD.
Yes, sir.
So, good stuff. But we go great from good stuff to great stuff because we get Andrade El Idolo. He had his manservant with him, who we don't have a name on yet, and Vicky Guerrero. And he defeated Matt Sydal. I'm not going to go move for move in this because, my Lord.
It was ridiculous.
There was so much in it. Sydal's been looking really good. If you watch Dark and you watch Elevation, he's been really, he's got his groove on, man.
Yeah.
And he's been stiffing the shit out of people too. I love it. But, he's been doing really well. Not a big surprise since he's a freaking veteran that's, amazing worker. But good stuff here. I mean, there was some amazing spots in this match. You just really need to go watch it. I thought it was a really good debut because, Andrade got to wrestle. It wasn't just a squash.
Yeah, I think the best move was the moonsault into the moonsault.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, wow.
Andrade came off for a moonsault. Of course, he rolled over. He just instantly does the moonsault again. And
no hesitation.
But he finishes it with the hammer-like DDT. And they said that he's calling that the El Idolo, and that's kind of strange because that's his name, It
is a little weird.
So
but
it's Jake Roberts. He calls this move the Jake Roberts.
He's going to question him.
So I'm going to question him because it's a dumb name for the move.
I'm sure they'll change it.
Anyway, after the match, Andrade got his belt, and he tied up Sydal's arm and wrenched on it. But anyway, that was fine. It was good.
It was what it was.
We go to Christian and Matt Hardy video promo. They went back more talking about their history and all this stuff, and they'll have a match, Fyter Fest Night 1. So I'm looking forward to that match because it is such a classic rivalry.
It really is.
I think
the match is going to be really good too.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's going to be really good. I think there's going to be some blood though. I'll tell you.
Ooh.
I think that one's going to have some blood.
I hope so.
and some ladders.
Oh, I hope not.
But then, Jesus Lord.
Oh, man. At this point, we lost our minds. Collectively.
So Arn Anderson's in the ring with Shivani. Arn said, "It's great to be in Miami." And he was just talking. I don't know why, really.
Yeah.
But
we didn't know why he was out there.
Just welcomed him to Miami. And then he was interrupted, and there was another blackout, like the one in the Cody match.
We're like, is that the storm?
But the lights came back on. And that's when we had Alistair Thomas Malachi Black End. They yelled, "Oh my God, it's Tommy End." It was Alistair Black. But he hit the black mass. Whatever he's going to call it now. He hit the black mass on Arn. Oh, Jesus. Cody ran out, stared him down, and then he got a black mass. And he looked amazing.
Yes.
Excalibur said, "This is Malachi Black.
It's something different. Something's happened to him."
And, he said, "It's not the Tommy End that I know. It's Malachi Black." And it's Malachi Black looking fantastic.
He looked disturbing.
It's Aleister Black looking fantastic.
Oh, man.
It is whoever you want to call him looking fantastic. And, my God, the matches that can happen with Aleister Black. I wasn't sure when we saw Zelina Vega show back up in, up north, what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But honestly, I felt like we would be seeing Aleister Black back.
Yeah, so did I. I expected him to go back too.
So this is a big surprise.
I'm so glad he didn't.
And I didn't even know he could be on TV yet.
Yeah, it's way too early.
I really didn't think it was Tom.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that it was like end of August.
Maybe they did something like, "Hey, you dropped the whole union tweets, and we'll
we'll come back to us."
Yeah, and we'll let your husband go. I don't know. It was interesting.
Whatever the case, I'm just glad it happened.
So I don't remember the rest of the show. Thanks for joining us.
We blacked out at this point.
Aleister Black's in AEW. Enough said. No. After that, they recap tape segment from earlier that happened before the show, apparently, when Ricky Starks cut a promo on Brian Cage.
It was very strange.
Yeah, and he said the W in FTW stands for wife, and Brian Cage's wife, to be specific. And Brian Cage came down looking like he just ate the whole steroid factory.
He was looking quite like Swolverine.
Yes, and so it was really weird. It's fine. But it was strange how they did it. The recap.
It was a little weird.
So then we go to something fantastic. Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander against the Blade and the Bunny.
Yay.
So, listen. This was one of those mixed tags.
Yes.
So it was crazy. It was the second intergender match in the history of Dynamite. The first being Cody and Red Velvet against Shaq and Jade. There was no intergender wrestling, so to speak. It was just...
Or there wasn't really supposed to be.
No, it was mixed tag, but there was some.
They got a little bit in there.
The men must wrestle the men, and the women must wrestle the women. But there was freshly squeezed chants everywhere because Orange is over as hell.
Always.
And he did his kicks with Bunny. Bunny goes out, and then Blade comes in and ends up with the Orange Tornado DDT and Power Slam. Orange countered, follow up into a stunner. Then the women tag in. Bunny hits a knee lift. Statlander came back with a Power Slam. Statlander hit a long delayed vertical suplex, and I mean long, like 10, 15 seconds. Bunny rolled out of the way of a senton. Blade grabbed Statlander's boot, allowing Bunny to take control ahead of the break. When it came back, Statlander hit a Falcon's Arrow. She did the deal. Nobody kicked well. Somebody kicked out. So she climbed to the top rope. Blade distracted Statlander by attacking Orange, allowing Bunny to hit a German suplex. Blade tagged in, hoping for a count out on Orange. Statlander go to Blade into an attack. Then Orange made his way back into the ring with a crossbody and Tornado DDT for a 2. Statlander hit the area 451 on Blade. Great name.
Yes.
But Bunny pulled Orange out of the ring on the pin. Blade produced brass knucks and rocked Orange with a right hand.
Ooh, but sneaky.
Statlander made a blind tag. Statlander pushed Bunny in the Blade and hit the Big Bang Theory and got the 1-0, 2-0, 3-0.
Yes.
So good stuff.
Nice little match.
Yeah, it was. It really was. They showed a video with Jungle Boy getting his trophy for 50 victories, being the first to get the 50 victories. Funny thing was, if you noticed the trophy, it mistakenly said 50 matches.
Maybe it says winning 50 matches?
No. It said 50 matches. So just a little Easter egg there. You can zoom that in yourself. Shivani's in at ringside with Dan Lambert from America Top Team and Jorge Masvidal, as I mentioned earlier, and Amanda Nunes. Which is pretty amazing, just having them out there.
They still didn't let Tony talk. No. Dan just took the mic.
No, Dan Lambert took it. He did this incredible promo.
Yeah, it was great.
And he was talking about, how he's skeptical about AEW because AEW sucks. He started talking about old school wrestling. And he talked about, championship wrestling from Florida. And he talked about all the people he used to watch on there. And he knows his shit because he talked the actual rosters. Mm-hmm. And he's like, even up to the Rick Rude and Barry Windham era.
and then he has to turn it off.
And then he's like, but... so I came here to see what was happening and stuff, and if it was going to be any good. But no, it sucks. And because Tony Khan said that they had all the different styles in the back. He put it over while putting it down.
Yeah.
And he put over the fans while putting it down. But when this happened, Lance Archer comes out and he just destroys him.
He's like, not my roster. Yeah, sir.
He destroys him. It's a good little segment because it's got Dan Lambert doing some cool stuff, and I don't know. I didn't mind it.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah. So they get the lineup for Fyter Fest Night 1 next week, which we have a coffin match, Darby Allin versus Ethan Page. We have a Fuck the Wife championship with Brian Cage against Ricky Starks. We have Christian Cage against Matt Hardy and a TL, C rematch. I was trying to think something with some old people letters, but we have Yuka Sakazaki against Penelope Ford. We have an IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship, John Moxley against Carl Anderson, and Hangman Page is supposed to have a promo. Holy shit, what a show.
Yeah, it's already stacked, and they'll probably surprise us with more.
I mean, what a damn show.
Oh, I'm so excited already, and it's still a week away.
So, if that all wasn't enough, we still had the main event.
Jeez.
Don Callis, unfortunately, joined us for commentary.
As always.
But we had AEW World Tag Team Championship Street Fight.
A street fight.
The Young Bucks with Brandon Cutler against Eddie Kingston and Penta El Zero Miedo.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So Kingston was wearing a Terry Funk shirt. If everybody's seen Terry Funk this week, it came out that he was suffering from some onset dementia and he's in an assisted living facility. Tommy Dreamer, though, came out and said, hey, Terry's fine. And regardless, he's thoughts and prayers of Terry Funk because he is in an assisted living facility. And Terry Funk, in my opinion, is one of the greatest to ever do it because you got 5 decades, spanning there of competition. And the man went from 1964, 65 and, won the NWO World title in the 70s as a crazy but pure wrestler, brawler, greatest promo, of that era. Really had, like you think about stuff with the empty arena match of him and Lawler. You think about, stuff. I mean, he went everywhere, did everything. You think about the stuff going up there with him and Flair, when he was doing the commentary in '89 and come in after the Steamboat match and shocked the world, had another run then. And if he wasn't middle-aged and crazy then he goes to ECW, and really gets them the rub and gets that company going and the hellacious main events there. He's a king of the deathmatch wrestling in Japan. He's a goddamn legend in Japan. And he's just done everything. He's done everything, And so this guy really just exemplifies. He's everything pro wrestling, and he's everything good about pro wrestling because he didn't shit on different styles. He did the different styles.
Right.
And so yeah, keep him in your thoughts, and good on Kingston for wearing a Terry Funk shirt. So Young Bucks off the front, Michael Nakazawa was trying to hold Kingston and Penta, but the Young Bucks super kicked him. So good. Kingston and Penta send him a barricade. They cornered Cutler in the ring. Bucks attacked him with chairs before they could do anything. Kingston and Penta turned the tables and dropped both Bucks into a chair. Penta hit his driving drop kick to Matt, and then this time through a chair. They brought out tables. Penta tried to send Nick into a table, but Nick stopped him. Nick also stopped Kingston from superplexing his brother onto a table and powerbombed Kingston onto it himself.
That table he tore apart.
Yes. Penta hit a running destroyer on Matt through a table at ringside.
Oh,
it's beautiful.
Nasty.
Beautiful. Just exploded.
Yeah.
Nick soccer kicked the trash can in Penta's face out of the break. There's plenty of good action, and during the commercial, including breaking the damn table.
Yeah.
That we
during
didn't
commercial.
See. But, once they got back, Nick hit a senton through a trash can onto Kingston for a 2. Penta hit a thrust kick, a sling blades that Raja loves. On both the Bucks.
One of my favorite moves.
And before a lung blower senton combination, the Bucks overwhelmed Penta with the numbers, hitting Northern Lights suplex, then hit Cannonball Enziguri combination on Kingston. Seated in the corner, the Bucks set up for more bang for your buck, but their opponents broke it up with a thrust kick and a half and half suplex and a DDT. Kingston locked on a sleeper, but Nick hit a 450 splash on the official because he had a choice to make. And so he hit it
This is where all the fuckery began.
He hit on Rick Knox, and as Matt was tapping out.
Yes.
So they should have won the titles right there. But the Good Brothers, as they do, came out and they beat the shit out of Pinkston.
They're one person now.
Yes. But Penta took them both out with the Tope con Hero. Penta went for a fear factor, but Matt flipped out of it and speared Kingston. Matt tried to get Cutler to spray Penta, but out of nowhere, Frankie Kazarian just drops out of the sky, and he
who's that coming out the sky?
He powerbombed Cutler through a table. Penta and Kingston hit the fear factor, followed by a spinning back fist. That's their finish, folks. They got a visual pin.
The second visual win
of
the match.
But when an official finally ran out, Nick pulled him out of the ring at the 2. Kazarian attacked the Bucks. The Good Brothers took him out with the Magic Killer on the floor. Kingston produced thumbtacks. And Penta smacked Matt with a trash can. And Penta and Nick followed on the top rope. Nick hit an avalanche Hurricane Run on Penta, which was amazing. Who landed on the tacks.
Yes.
Kingston broke up the cover at 2. Matt had a bloody nose. Kingston ate stereo super kicks. The Bucks threw tacks into Penta's face. Matt put tacks in Kingston's mouth. And Kingston ate a super kick. And the Bucks covered and retained.
Oh, goodness.
And that was your Road Rager.
We should have new tag team champions.
Oh, a couple times.
It's so sad.
A couple times. It was fantastic, though. Just fantastic.
I don't know who's going to challenge next.
I know, right? I mean, what a show.
Yeah. What a show.
What a show.
There was not a slow moment.
No, it went so quick.
It really did. Like, it was over before you even sat down.
And next week already is stacked.
Yeah. And I'm still reeling from it.
and they're stacking Charlotte already. I mean,
the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks even, the homecoming.
The homecoming.
All these shows are going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
If this night is anything to go by, they're just going to blow us out of the water.
All killer, no filler. I don't see anything.
They heard the phrase waiting for the fans to come back, and they were like, oh, really?
Yeah, man.
Well, pal.
Well, I'm interested to see what the ratings are.
Yeah.
On this one.
That'll definitely be fun to look at.
I'm hoping it's good. Did you know about the Raw rating this week?
I don't know. Yeah, I do. I heard about it.
The Raw rating was the lowest, folks. And I want to say in the history of Raw, but it's the lowest since 1993's debut episode.
Wow.
Since 1993.
Man.
The lowest rated episode, 1.472.
How's that strategy going for you guys?
Dude.
The sad part is SmackDown's starting to get worse. It was good for a while. Now it's just
it's
downhill.
I don't know. It's like somebody's drunk.
And now one of the main storylines is effectively ruined.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was talking about Dark. I said it's a little bonus stuff. Folks, if you're not watching Elevation in Dark, you're missing out.
What are you doing?
Especially Dark. Some of the moments on Dark, man. I mean, last night,
there were some great moments.
Just results. He had like the Lance Archer defeated Ryan Mantell. You had QT Marshall and Aaron Solo defeating TNT, which is Little Devons.
Yes.
And, that was all fine. Then you had to return to the waiting room where you had an angle between Joey Janela and Sonny that was really strange.
It was strange, but perfectly them.
Yes, it was perfectly them. Abaddon, looking scary as always, had a match. You had Matt Sydal looking good and stiffing the crap out of Carly Bravo there.
Yes.
You had the Blade against Trey Lamar, which was actually a really good match. And Trey got a lot of offense in that, so hopefully that goes somewhere. Bear Bronson defeated the tallest man in the world. Big Trouble Bishop.
BTBB.
Yeah, BTBB. Then you had a beautiful moment where Marco Stunt and Fuego del Sol defeated Baron Black and Rosin. Fuego got his win. Anybody who watches the Sammy vlogs, it was just a beautiful thing. And then all the people from the Sammy vlog came out to celebrate afterwards.
I love Fuego.
Chris Statlander defeated Viva Van. Beautiful match. Varsity Blondes with Julia defeated a couple of the students from Dustin's graduates. And Helico, the glorious beauty he is, defeated Prince Kai. Wheeler Yuta, this was another great moment. He came out. He defeated Ryan Nemeth, and it was a big shocker.
Yeah.
There was also a angle, if you will, and Helico was dancing after his match. The music goes off. He's still dancing. Wheeler Yuta, time for his match, and he's supposed to be the jobber, so he just comes out and stands and waits for the other guy's music. Well, they showed all that, and Wheeler Yuta bumps into Angelico, so hopefully that turns into Angelico versus Wheeler Yuta, which will be very interesting, especially since Wheeler got that win. Sean Spears and Wardlow defeated Hunter Knott and Rosario Grillo, but Sean Spears beat the living piss out of one of the guys on the floor. Tecante defeated Killian King. So
Kylan King.
Yeah. I did that on purpose. Just because you always crack me on it. Dark Order's Colt Cabana, Alex Reynolds, 10, and Alan Angels defeated Will Alday, Jason Hodge, Chandler Hopkins, Dean Alexander. Jack Evans looking really good. He's been working out. Defeated Matt Sydal in 4 minutes.
Another good match.
Red Velvet defeated Ashley Vox. Eddie Kingston and Pintel Zero Miedo with Alex Abrahantes, a great manager, defeated Chaos Project.
Why wouldn't you want to see all that?
And it was 2 hours of fun.
It
was really good, and I just want to talk about it because I think you guys need to watch it because they did have some angles in there. I love how they put their own little angles in.
And it's a great lead into Dynamite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gets you prepped and ready.
Absolutely. Normally, if you're going to have a big match, they'll have the guys have a warm-up match.
Yeah.
On there, but it's good stuff. You know what else is good stuff, Raja?
What else is good stuff?
BT Wrestling Pod.
Oh, that's the best stuff.
BT Wrestling Pod on Facebook. BT Wrestling Pod on the Twitter machine. BT Wrestling Pod on Instagram, which if you went there, you got to see all kinds of cool pictures from me being front row at Dynamite last week. And
great shots.
Got some incredible shots. You got to see my beautiful bald face on there during a lot of big moments last week. I enjoyed it. I got to see my boy Dylan. Got some good huggies going on. A lot of fun, a lot of goodness. We're going to have a proper show coming up for you very shortly. But before then, we're going to have another Patreon moment as our Patreon members, which is also BT Wrestling Pod, the best way to get there. Or you can go to blindtagwrestling.com and find out how to get there. But we're doing our 1997 Monday Night Raws in order.
Yes.
And what we got coming up next is the actual Royal Rumble watch along. So we'll be doing that next couple days. Stick around, join. If you're not a Patreon member, you'll have a lot of fun because we just rip the shit out of people.
Watch along with us.
And yes, watch along, fire it up, have some fun. But for the lovely and mysterious Raja, I hope you enjoyed AEW Dynamite review as much as we enjoyed watching it and bringing it to you. My name's John Hawkins, and so long from the Blind Tag Wrestling Podcast.
You'll never see it coming.